Okay, the first lady that we want to talk about is Dorothy Dandridge. Okay, and there were a couple of things that I saw about her that I want to, I want us to chop it up a little bit. But the first thing I wanted to talk about was her legacy. What did you think that she left as a legacy in terms of wearing her history well?
Well, I personally didn't understand her legacy as one that I would want to follow.
Okay.
Really, because her life was cut short so quickly.
I know.
Of course, she did start out well, but to me, there was beauty.
Okay.
Which, I think that's a legacy.
She was absolutely gorgeous.
She was gorgeous. She did well in her craft.
Yes, she did.
I guess that's part of a legacy. But what I found lacking was her ability to overcome some adversities.
Okay.
And to me, I know she had a great spiritual beginning. Right. I understand she had a good spiritual beginning.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the way, I think she faltered.
She faltered somewhere along the way.
I think she faltered because she allowed things to get in her way.
Okay, all right.
That's the way I saw it.
Tell me what you guys think, because I kind of differ with that a little bit, but let's talk about it.
You know what, I think that she had a hard time getting roles because of the fact that she was African American.
Yes.
And I think that was part of her problem when it came to faltering with roles. She turned down a few good roles only because they were depicting slavery and slaves. And so because of that, I think she had a little bit of a stall within her career. Okay. But she still had a fantastic life.
Yeah. She really did. I thought. You got anything to say about this, Sharice?
Yeah, I think that she did some remarkable things in terms of being a first. The first African-American woman to be nominated for several different prestigious awards.
That's right, that's right.
So she paved the way. But I think she had some difficulties in her life and she struggled a lot. Yeah. And I think that it's a reflection of Hollywood in a lot of cases where they struggle to find their inner peace in their true self. Yeah. And they compromise themselves, and I think she did that in some cases, and it got the best of her. And the fact that she died so young is really tragic because she could have, if she could have had that support system around her, she may have been able.
You know what? When we talk about dying so young, we just experienced that with Whitney.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing over and over again. Although when I was reading about her, there was some controversy as to whether or not she did die from an overdose or some other thing. You guys probably read
and
that.
You know what? There is controversy over Dorothy Dandridge's death as well.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they said it was an accidental overdose, but they also said that she had an embolism as well.
Absolutely.
And
I read that too.
The part that because of her injury to her foot, it just happened about 5 days prior to her death.
Right. Absolutely.
So,
but the thing that and you guys tell me what you think, that I thought was really powerful, people like Halle Berry, Bassett, Whitney, I mean, you name Cicely Tyson, all of these women probably somewhere around 1980 began to appreciate and actually begin to honor what she did because in their experiences they are beginning to see the same thing and really said, we need to honor what this woman has done. In addition to that, I thought was interesting, did you guys get this? So much that she did was not credited.
True. That's true. What I was saying, let me clarify. I admired her beauty. I admired her craft. What I, as a minister, look for in any individual, including these young ladies here, is the spirituality part.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what I believe is what helps a person hold on to whatever the adversity is.
I love it. I love it.
That's the way I see it.
She missed it Well, at some point she lost it.
That's what I believe.
But there's so many in that industry. There's so many devils pulling at you in different ways.
Demons.
Every walk of life.
Yes, absolutely.
Every walk of life.
And they succumb to it.
You will find that in every walk of life.
So you have to be
not
really,
just Hollywood.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so you have to be really focused on the spiritual part. Well, that helps me because I want to switch it a little bit, and I want you all to talk to me about how we begin to talk to the 21st century woman about the history that she's making and what she's going to leave as we reflect on Dorothy. And of course, you know, we just talked about with Whitney, for example, that's kind of, you know, let's look at this history. So what can you, from this life that we just kind of talked about, what can we say to women today? Because all of us are responsible. This is Women's History Month. If we don't ever talk about it, now is the time to talk about it. So what can a 21st century woman gain from Dorothy's life today?
I think it's important to just be true to yourself, you know, and really know who you are and what gifts God has given to you so that you can give those gifts back to the world. And I believe that, you know, now it's even more important for women to just figure out who they are. And then when they know who they are, then they can start to live that life as opposed to the life that someone else
has.
Is,
I like
you know,
that.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that so much. And what I'm going to do, because the time runs so fast, and that is, let's talk about Maya Angelou. Woo!
Yes.
Is she awesome?
Yes.
Let's just talk about her. Let's talk about the history this woman is leaving that we can build upon, that she is still making.
When you talk about living that life, I mean, I think that she discovered early on who she was. And she took a stand for that. And everything she did was true to her inner being.
That's right.
You know, she was an activist, she was in the arts. I mean, she lived her life for herself. And when you look at her style and the history that she's leaving, it's true. And I think that, you know, a woman who lives the authentic life is powerful, is confident, is beautiful.
Beautiful, that's it right there. She is so beautiful.
And from the inside out.
From the
inside out.
But she's had, like Cherise said, she's learned early on, but she's had those people in place to lead her that way. Mentoring. Going back and forth from her grandmother's, and her grandmother putting her in the right spots, in the right places, and then going to the art school, like you said. The art school just molded her into knowing what she needed to do.
Absolutely, and she spent some time abroad.
Paris.
You know, she was in Ghana, and she taught at the university, and she was an editor at, you know, I mean, just she did some powerful things.
She did.
And now you're talking about a deep spiritual being planted in that woman, and I believe it was planted at a very early age.
And it comes out, and I tell you, the thing that I have to go, but the thing that I love most is her voice. She leaves her voice.